This thing is freaking awesome, and that's no joke because this is the Ausom Leopard, or what I'm calling adrenaline on wheels. Want to learn more? Then stick around. So I guess you're here because you want to learn more about this awesome scooter. Well, before we go any further, I want to thank the people over at Ausom for sending the Leopard out to me. Not only allowing me the chance to review it, but the opportunity to share it with all of you. And hopefully, by the end of this video, you'll know if the Ausom Leopard is indeed for you. Before we do a test ride, let's talk about some of the specs and features of this awesome scooter. Just a couple quick things to mention is this does have a 48 volt 20.8 amp hour battery system located in the deck of the battery. It does power a 1000 watt rear hub motor. It does have an estimated range of 52 miles and an estimated top speed of 34 miles per hour. Now those estimates are based on a very lightweight rider around 160 pounds and optimal conditions. Now from riding it myself, I have not been able to reach the top speed, but we will see how fast it does go with me riding it, being a little bit heavier rider of around 215 pounds. But as we come closer to it, I'll start on the handlebars here. It does have nice, comfortable rubber grips. It does have the fan style, so you get a lot of surface there for your hands and your palms. There are quite a bit of controls on here. This does have a lot of features. So, front and back mechanical disc brakes. Right here is your on-off for your lights. This does have a pretty incredible lighting package, which we'll talk more about in a little bit, but this does turn your lights on and off. Down here, left and right, yes, that is for turn signals. This is the first scooter I've ever reviewed that does have turn signals, and that is your electronic horn. Right hand side, you do have your thumb throttle, and yes, this is powered with a key. The key is required. Great safety feature there. So you turn the key on, and under here is your function button. You hold that in and it will power on the scooter. And it is adjustable, so you can see the display there. It does show the battery output, voltage, speed, your power mode, which is 1 through 3, and it does alternate between trip and odometer. I currently have 11 miles on it, and it does say single for a single motor, but there is an option to upgrade, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Now obviously in bright sun, it's not coming through too well on camera, but I could see this with my own bare eyes, naked eyes, no problem. So it's a nice big screen though, and it is adjustable depending on your riding position. This is your latch for when the bars are folded down. It does latch into the back of the kick plate there to be able to pick up the scooter. Coming around the front, you do have your clamp. This is because you have 3 different heights for the handlebars. You have the highest, a medium, and the lowest. So depending on the size of you riding it, and for another reason which I'll mention in just a bit, you do have 3 different handlebar height positions. Coming down below that is your locking mechanism for the stem. This does twist and lock the stem into place, and you just twist and loosen it to pull the handlebars down. Coming down lower is your headlight, and I will say it's a nice bright headlight. It does have a swing arm design suspension, front fender here, and this does ride on 10x3 pneumatic all-terrain tires. You can see they are pretty meaty, kind of beefy, a lot of rubber on them, and they're more aggressive than your traditional scooter tires that we see, especially like road tires or solid rubber tires. These are pretty aggressive in comparison to other scooters I have reviewed, but really great design. Yellow and black, it's like Pittsburgh colors, and you do have the adjustable suspension here, the spring if you want to stiffen it or soften it up. As we come to the deck here, actually before we do that, right here you may see there was a bullet shaped glass. Well, that is part of the lighting package. This right here is just a reflector. You do have the Leopard logo. Big deck. And right in the middle is your charging port for charging the battery up. The battery is not removable. Back here is another light, and this also functions as your turn signal as well as the front light too. So when you are using your turn signals, these will flash to let riders people behind you and in front of you know that you are turning or using your turn signals. You do have your kick plate here, and right in the middle is your bar for latching the handlebars down when you do fold it down. That way you can pick it up. Another spring suspension, which is adjustable. The rear fender, 1000 watt brushless rear hub motor, and an integrated tail light / brake light. Now there are two standout features for the scooter that I particularly like. Number one is the lighting package. So when you do have the lights turned on at night, not only do you get the big bright headlight showing in front of you, and you do have the tail light / brake light, but you do have amber colored lights that illuminate and glow to let others know that you are approaching or in the area riding the scooter. So it's definitely going to draw a lot of attention, not only with the color scheme, but the lighting package. And as mentioned, when you do use the turn signals, the front and back do flash to let people know you are turning. And I will say the amber color works perfect with the color scheme of the yellow and black, again, which to me is Pittsburgh colors. So if you guys know Pittsburgh sports teams, definitely is a recognizable color scheme. The other thing, which is kind of awesome, is you may notice on the deck here, there's 4 holes. Well, this does come with an included seat. There is a rear seat post that does attach there with 4 screws. Once it's attached, you do have the seat, which does have a spring stem, so you get a lot of cushion, a lot of suspension out of it. It's a big, comfortable seat, and the seat does get compact enough that you can fold it down and fold the handlebars down and be able to pick up the scooter and put it in your vehicle, so you don't have to constantly attach or detach the seat if you don't want to. But it is a nice option, which again mentions the adjustable handlebar height. When you are using the seat, at least for me, I do like to put it on the lower setting here, and the seat does come included. There is no extra cost, but there is an upgraded feature for this, which I'm going to mention in just a little bit. Which means right now we're going to do a test ride. We're going to do top speed. I do know with me, it doesn't do 34 miles per hour, but we will see how fast it does go. And we're going to do a little bit of terrain riding, trail riding, some hill climbing, and I'll give you my overall thoughts and opinions, both good and bad, at the end of the video, as well as information on how you can get one for yourself. And believe it or not, this is actually a relatively affordable scooter for all the options it does have to offer. So without wasting more time, let's start riding. Now we do have a full battery. Now when it is powered on after a full charge, it does show 55 volts. So we are down to 53 a little bit. So it's not 100% power, it's probably about 98%. But we do have the 3 ride modes. In order to switch the modes, one is the slowest. All you do is hit the function button under the throttle here. Mode 2 and then mode 3. So mode 1 is the slowest, mode 2 is in the medium, mode 3 is the fastest. So we'll start out in mode 1 and we'll see what the top speed is with that. Okay, full throttle, mode 1, we are going 9 miles an hour. Mode 2, going 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 23 on mode 2. Kick up to mode 3 now, and we'll see how fast we could go. Okay, we're 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So we did get up to 30 miles an hour with a rider my size. I'm 5'11", around 215, 220, right around that range. And for the most part, it's a flat paved terrain, and we're down from 55 volts. So I think the fastest I've gotten on this is around 31, maybe 32. So it's within range of the estimated top speed. If you are a lighter rider, under like 175, I have good confidence that you will reach the top speed of 34, and you'll also get that long range of closer to 52 miles. Now, with me riding this, I think realistic range is going to be around 35 miles. Based on a rider my size And based on which ride mode or power mode you're using, it's going to determine your duration or your range. So if you're going top speed in mode 3, you're not going to get as far of range as if you're going slower in mode 1 or mode 2. So just those are variables you have to keep in mind when you are riding an e-bike or a scooter. That the variables they don't apply to everyone. It does determine or depend on the person, on how they ride, the size of them, and the conditions as well. But we're going to go on the little dirt trail here and we'll see how it does. So again, we do have pretty aggressive tires. This is no problem at all. A little bit of mud up here, so I'm going to take it easy. Now if I had one of my other scooters with the solid rubber tires, road tires, I probably would just get stuck right there. Now there is a good and bad thing regarding these tires. The good thing is that these tires handle all types of terrain, especially off-road terrain. The bad thing is that they are going to wear down faster on pavement than traditional road tires or solid tires. So you have to take the good with the bad. These tires could take you anywhere within reason, but they will wear down faster on hard paved surfaces, faster than road tires, say like the S2 Pro or the Max Pro by Highboy. Now the only scooter I've reviewed close to this is the Varla Pegasus. That is a dual 500 watt motor scooter, solid rubber tires. That had plenty of power, but it did have its drawbacks. You know, it wasn't the super smoothest ride, and those dual motors did wear the battery down faster. I was lucky if I got about 15 miles range on that. Now, that brings me to my next point, is that this scooter is upgradable. As mentioned, there is a 1000 watt rear hub motor. Well, Ausom does sell an additional 1000 watt powered wheel for under $150, which you could put in the front. So that will make this all-wheel drive, and you'll have 2000 watts of power. And that's why I mentioned on the screen it says single. Well, when you have the second motor, it will switch to dual for dual motor. Now that obviously will wear the battery down faster, but you'll have incredible climbing power, get up and go speed, and all-wheel drive, so it'll handle even better in off-road conditions. And that rear kick plate for your foot allows a lot of flexibility and versatility for where you want to place your feet. So right now I do have my right foot on that rear kick plate as like a pushback, so I can kind of lean back, get down low, and cruise around. Oh, electric skateboard. That's one thing I won't be reviewing. We're gonna head to an area with a couple hills, and here's a demonstration of the horn. Nice and loud. I will say, for a rider my size, on the highest handlebar position, it's like a perfect height. And they're not too wide, not too narrow. I think it's almost like a perfect width and height, at least for me. But the fact that they are adjustable, especially with having the seat on here, is even better. And the reason I say that is because on the Highboy, the S2 Pro and the Max Pro, which does have the seat option, the handlebars are not adjustable, so it is a fixed height, where this is definitely customizable for the most part from person to person. At 22, it's really nice and smooth, even with these aggressive tires. And we're going to do a brake test. All right, brakes worked as they should. No problems coming to a complete stop from around 22 miles an hour. So here's the base of the hill. It gets steeper as you go up around the bend there, and let's go for it. I will show the speed. 15, 16, 17. Here's the steepest part. We're still at 17. And as we get to the top, we just keep accelerating. So 17 miles an hour, very comparable to the Varla Pegasus, which is a dual motor 500 watt scooter, but this being a single 1000 watt, very comparable power. And here's another hill here too, which will take us off the trail system into the city. And we're still accelerating as we climb this. We're at 17 and holding, now we're at 18. Yeah, this is a decent hill climber, especially for a rider my size. If you're lighter, as I mentioned, it's going to perform even better. And just like that, we could go from a dirt trail to a paved trail to inner city. Whether you want to use this for commuting or just everyday fun, option's yours. Another thing to point out too is that the motor is really quiet for a motor this size. I'd expect it to be louder, but it is relatively quiet. So it's a very sleek and unsuspecting ride. I have to say, this is probably the most fun I've had on a scooter in a long time. This thing, it's just surprisingly impressive. I call it adrenaline on wheels for a reason. It really gets your heart racing. It's just so fun and exciting. Alright, what do you guys think? I am going to be looking forward to your feedback on this awesome scooter. It's kind of funny calling it awesome, even though that is the brand name. But I do have some pros and cons I do want to share with you. These are just my personal thoughts and opinions. I don't speak for anyone else, but I want to at least let you know what I think, both good and bad, about this scooter. Starting off with the cons first, I do think this should have hydraulic disc brakes. Being as a higher powered, faster mile per hour scooter, the mechanical disc brakes do work, you know, they will stop you, but I think you'd have better peace of mind if you did have hydraulic disc brakes. That is one upgrade I think it should come with, or at least have the option to choose when purchasing this scooter. The second thing is that this is a heavier scooter. This weighs about as much as most e-bikes I've reviewed, around this between the 60 to 80 pound range. This comes in at 69 pounds, so it is a heavier scooter. With that being said though, it does aid in stability. It's not too heavy for me. I have no problem lifting it up, putting it in my vehicle, lifting it up onto a table to clean it off. But for some people, it may be too heavy for them. So weight is a factor, something to keep in mind, but it does come on the heavier side based on the size of the scooter and the components and materials used. For the pros, well, I could go on and on. I'm just going to share a few. Number one, the lighting package is awesome. And no pun intended, it is an awesome lighting package. The amber colored lights, the tail light, the turn signals, the headlight, they all work great. Lower light conditions, especially if you're doing nighttime riding, people are going to see you without a doubt. And more importantly, they're going to know what you're doing, whether you're coming to a stop or if you are turning. So the lighting package is great, and it works well with the color scheme of the scooter, both yellow and black. I just really love the styling and design. It's no other way to put it. They just did a nice job with it. I do say I like the color scheme, but I do wish or would like to see color options available down the road if you are purchasing this scooter. Maybe a blue and black, or a blue and green, or a green and black. I think having different color options would be nice. But right off the bat, right out of the gate, with their first scooter, first color design, I think they nailed it. It works well in my opinion. But having options available for consumers and buyers, such as hydraulic or mechanical disc brakes or different colors, would be a nice welcome addition to those who are looking for a scooter or in the market for this particular one. Lastly is the power. 1,000-watt rear hub motor, it gets the job done. It gets up to nearly 30 miles an hour. It's a great hill climber. It's got good torque, and it just handles nearly anything you throw at it, whether it's concrete, pavement, grass, rocks, dirt. It can handle it all, and it gets you there in fun and usually puts a smile on your face. I was smiling a lot riding this thing, and also it attracts a lot of attention. People are looking at it like, whoa, that looks pretty cool. I even had a guy riding another scooter, and he stopped to talk to me. He was asking what this was and, you know, the details and specs about it. So it's definitely an attention getter. It stands apart from some other scooters out there, and don't be surprised if you own this that you're going to have people asking you questions about it. So let's see here. I do love this key option too. It's great security. So we're at 50.5 volts, still plenty of battery, and we put on roughly 6 to 7 miles. But I was riding it pretty hard, doing a lot of B-roll shots and putting it through its paces. Again, I'm not a small guy, I'm not humongous, but you know, roughly 215, 220, pulling me around, climbing those hills. It's impressive. There is no cruise control on the scooter, but that's a good thing. I don't think a scooter like this should have cruise control. You are completely responsible for the throttle at all times. Now for pricing, I do recommend not only to check the link down below for more information, but for the latest pricing. But as of the making of this video, this comes in at under $1,000. That is a really great price for all the features that this is offering to you, because a lot of the things that are on here, other companies charge extra for, such as the aggressive tires, the seat, and just having the powerful motor. I mean, they could easily charge $1,500 for this, but it's under $1,000 as of the making of this. But again, check the link down below for the latest pricing and to get more details and information about this scooter. And once again, thanks to Ausom for sending me out the Leopard, and hopefully by now you know if this is a scooter for you. With that being said, thanks for watching, safe riding, and as always, we'll see you in the next video.